So, the Steelers were driving the ball, and they run that the reverse pass with AB. And generally, I mean, there's the standard rule on any gadget play is if it doesn't work, fans will absolutely rip the coaching staff up and down. It's the worst call ever, right? And if it works, great. Nobody says anything. So the Steelers run two essentially trick plays in the first half. One doesn't work. It looks like it's there for a touchdown if it's executed. The other one actually does end in a touchdown. So what's your philosophy on coaches making decisions like that? Because obviously, if they snap that ball to Boz and he doesn't hit Villanueva, everybody in the world is going to either take the points, or if you want to go for it, put the ball in Ben's hands at the goal line. Don't put it in Boz's hands.
Of course.
That's all results based. What's your thinking on
that? I think that's a good point. And of course, you'd be hearing fire Tomlin things if Boz doesn't complete the pass. I mean, it's such a fine line. Yeah. It's insane. Even those teams on a winning streak and all these good things. Generally speaking, I think the Steelers do a pretty good job of it. I always thought Haley would get a little too cute with such things in crucial situations, 3rd and short, near the goal line, those type of things. But I didn't really have a problem with the AB call. The problem with those type of plays, though, is when you put it in the hands of a guy that never throws the ball, he's going to throw it. Like if it's open or not, he's not just going to throw it away. Right. He gets 2 chances a year or whatever to throw the ball. He's going to do it right or wrong.
Right. And hero play.
Right. But the play call looked good. The execution was bad. I mean, the throw was bad, but I mean, they executed it well except for the throw. They executed
right. Well, one guy comes through the line. One guy basically is unblocked. Mm-hmm. He's awfully deep. One guy's unblocked. If that guy's blocked, it's probably a touchdown.
Yeah, probably.
Assuming he can make the throw. We saw him on one of those night games in Cincinnati a few years ago. Miss the kid, the running back, who's the artist, whose name's escaping me. But 3 or 4 years ago, Steelers had it. Just AB missed him wide open in a Bengals game on a night game, but. Yeah, so I mean, I think Fichtner does a really good job, with his play calls. So, I actually think, from my perspective, I actually think the second one, the field goal play, was much riskier than the first one. The first one's first down, first drive of the game. Second one, you're obviously giving up 3 points. He's probably going to make that field goal, and if you don't get, you're walking away with nothing there, but. It worked out perfect.
Yeah, I want to get to that in 1 second, but the last note on the AB one was I was a little critical at the time just because they were moving the ball so effortlessly. Why not just stick to what's working? And that's always the knock on trick plays. Why would you try something different? Everything else is working. Well, that's when people bite a little harder, and that's when the trick plays work a little better too. But as for the field goal, the fake field goal, I thought for sure they were going to go for it. And then when they tried to Boz out there, I was like, wow, that's not really Tomlin-esque. He's usually going to take that risk even on the road. The points are kind of tough to come by, but you look like the better team at that point. And then when it happened, wow, brought the house down. And, Villanueva is a great target. I mean, the guy was a former receiver at Army, and he's going to catch that more often than not. People probably that probably didn't dawn on any of the Denver people, defenders' minds that this guy actually is an above average receiver as offensive tackles go. And I guess Boz can throw a little bit. And I didn't know that.